Hello, everyone. It's Mark Gilliard again for AIM Country Music Television. My guest today is Stephanie Urbina Jones. Her great-grandfather crossed the southern border into the U.S. in 1907, certainly simpler times. Manuel probably didn't fully understand what he had set in motion. His great-granddaughter was destined to bring her mariachi-flavored country music to the world. I believe they called it Country with Chili Peppers. Prepare yourself for some happy, hopeful, and beautifully executed music. Stephanie's here today to talk about her latest release from her Manuel's Destiny project, Rhinestone Cowgirl. Let's get her in here right now to talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Welcome, Stephanie. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi there, Mark. It's great to see you. Thank you for having me on today.
You're very welcome. I think this is going to be really interesting for our audience. Most of your music has that thread of mariachi running through it, and I feel like it would be a good idea for, open this up with a bit of an intro, give us a little history, how, mariachi is so much a part of it, about current events, where you're headed. Just tell us all about it.
Well, Mark, I was born in San Antonio, Texas, and I was born in a bicultural home where backyard barbecues every weekend, like anywhere probably around the world, people were listening. My abuelitos, that means grandparents, were listening to the great country music. WSM would be coming in the backyard. They'd be pumping in Loretta Lynn, Johnny Cash, all the country greats. And at the same time, we would be hearing boleros, songs from the border, from our culture of Mexico. And as fate would have it, mariachis would be rehearsing in our neighborhood because this is where they lived. So since I was a little girl, it's always been this mashup in my heart. Like, who wouldn't want to travel and sing country music, as my grandmother said, with chili peppers, with mariachi? So that's my dream. We made history as the first artist to ever bring mariachi, the sounds of Mexico, to the Grand Ole Opry stage. And we've played 9 times so far. So this is my passion. We call it honky tonk mariachi.
I also saw the thing, country music with chili peppers. My first time I saw that, I thought you were talking about the Red Hot Chili Peppers from rock and roll. Kind of might have had that wrong.
That's a great idea. Well, I'll tell you the story of I was a songwriter in Nashville. I was a hit songwriter, writing for Jim McBride, who wrote Chattahoochee, all these great country hits. And my grandmother called me. She was in San Antonio at the time. And she says, "Mija?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Grandma." And she says, "I'm dying." And so she knew that it was her time to go. And so, of course, I flew to her bedside and was there with her as she and midwifed her between this world and the next. And right before she passed, she was talking to my grandfather on the other side and talking to me. And she says, "Mija, you are going to be a mensajera," which means messenger. She says, "You are going to be making country music with chili peppers."
That's a sweet way to get to that little line, isn't it?
That's where it came from.
I love that. That's fantastic. I like going through your catalog. I came across the Ring of Fire by Johnny Cash, and that's a perfect example of a song that fits you, to a T. It's got the horns and the place for the horns. It's quite a fit.
Absolutely. And that's, it's one of the great gifts of growing up in honky tonks. When my parents divorced, I grew up in honky tonks, is that great songs and great artists are just, they never go out of style. And it is wonderful to share that with audiences that know Johnny Cash and audiences that don't, if you can believe it. And it's amazing because people know this music all over the world.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, you're here to talk about your new release, Rhinestone Cowgirl. This is the famous hit that everybody knows for Glenn Campbell. The only real modification was changing cowboy to cowgirl. But stylistically, I feel like you really breathed some life into a well-known song, kind of made it your own. Why don't you take a minute or two and just tell us about the process that got us to this variation of this?
Well, we were in the studio and I knew I wanted to cut this song because any artist, it's a long road and you have to really have that dream in your heart always, it just has to keep calling you. So I knew I wanted to record the song. And when we got to El Paso, which is where we recorded it, where my great grandfather actually crossed the border, my manager called Larry Weiss and said, Larry, would you let Stephanie and her honky tonk mariachi record this and change it from Rhinestone Cowboy to Cowgirl? And he said, yes. And it was game on, And then I had met Wendy Moten. We actually recorded this as a duet. And then after, she was on The Voice and is this most amazing, beautiful, inside and out, talented artist, Wendy Moten. And it's a duet. It's a duet for any dreamer of any kind, any dream in your heart, to believe in your heart and to live your very own rhinestone cowboy or cowgirl dream.
Well, I'd love to play it right now. What do you think?
I would love it. I hope y'all enjoy Rhinestone Cowgirl by Stephanie Urbina Jones and the Honky Tonk Mariachi featuring Wendy Moten.
I've been walking these streets so long, singing the same old song. I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway, where hustle's the name of the game, and nice girls get washed away like the snow and the rain. There's been a load of compromising on the road to my horizon, but I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me, like a rhinestone cowgirl, riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo, like a rhinestone cowgirl, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone. Well, I really don't mind the rain, and a smile can hide all the pain, but you're down when you're riding the train that's taking the long way. And I'll dream all the things I'll do, with the subway token and a dollar tucked down in my shoe. There'll be a load of compromising on the road to my horizon, but I'm gonna be where the lights are shining on me, like a rhinestone cowgirl, riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo, like a rhinestone cowgirl, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone. A rhinestone cowgirl, riding out on a horse in a star-spangled rodeo, a rhinestone cowgirl, getting cards and letters from people I don't even know, and offers coming over the phone. A rhinestone cowgirl.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah. I have to admit, when I was a little hesitant when I first heard of this release, but boy, the result is just really, really good. You guys nailed it.
Thank you. I feel like, of course, as an artist, I'm incredibly critical of my work, but It sounds like, as they say, ear candy. It just such a joy to it. So thank you.
It is definitely a happy little thing. Had you worked with Lundy before? I mean, she was just the perfect choice for this song. Perfect
I,
compliment in, looks and sound. I mean, everything was just a perfect fit for this. Had you worked with her before?
I have a podcast called The Dreamer's Road, and she was my guest, and just had natural chemistry. You know, we just had this thing that we both noted, and when I recorded the song, I thought, oh my goodness, it'd be so amazing for us to do a duet, and it's just magic, you know.
It's one of those perfect combos, a little bit hard to plan ahead for. You kind of just have to stumble across them in some other path to get there. But yeah, this is definitely one of those times. Well, you have lots and lots of music our audience is going to love. So before we head for the exits, tell us where to find you online, on stage, and where we can buy or listen to all of this music.
Well, you can obviously find me and everything from merchandise to all my CDs and find out my tour at StephanieUrbinaJones.com. Stephanie with a PH, Urbina, Urbina Jones.com. My most recent album is right here, Manuel's Destiny. Here I am with the Honky Tonk Mariachi in El Paso. This album has a song with backup vocals with Mr. Vince Gill on a song. Yeah. And Bellamy Brothers also sang a duet of Let Your Love Flow. So I hope you guys go to StephanieUrbinaJones.com and check it out. And more than anything, I hope it makes you smile.
Yeah, I recommend it. There's definitely some happy tunes just strung throughout Stephanie's music. One more thing, that Manuel's Destiny, Manuel was your grandfather, right?
Yes, Manuel Maya Urbina was my great-grandfather who crossed the border in 1907. Mark, this is an amazing story if I can share with you.
Absolutely, please.
So like a few months before Vince and the Time Jumpers invited me to come and play, that opened the door for the Grand Ole Opry, that opportunity, I was really at a crossroad, just, I don't know if I can do this anymore. We all hit those crossroad moments, and out of nowhere, I get this message on Messenger from someone I don't know. And he says, do you know Manuel Anaya Urbina? I said, that's my great grandfather. Why? And he said, I found this Bible from 1876 in an antique store in San Antonio, Texas. It was my great grandfather's Bible that he crossed the border with in 1907 and became a Baptist minister, spreading the gospel all over the Southwest. And, soon after, I was given the opportunity to make history and hold that Bible in that circle at the Grand Ole Opry. So there are coincidences. Our loved ones love us, and I believe they're watching out for us.
That is fantastic.
That's amazing.
Well, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on. It's been great getting to know you a little bit better.
It's been an honor to be here with you. Thank you all. And I look forward to seeing y'all out there on the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stephanie Urbina Jones. So what do you guys think? Is Rhinestone Cowgirl going to be your new favorite song? This is Mark Gilliatt for AIM Country Music Television. Thank you for watching.